Hi. I'm gonna have to edit out so much of me looking over at you. And welcome back to Five Nights at Freddy. Welcome. I'm leaving this in. Welcome back to the Blast Bounty Charity Pick'em Challenge. The show where I see the future and tell you the true facts of what is going to happen, or else I donate money to charity. I wish I had a second camera so I could just because you're so funny. So I don't want to dilly-dally too much. I just want to get this ready and out for tomorrow. So the first game of the quarterfinals was Liquid versus Falcons. I remember saying that this was probably going to be more of like a 50-50 due to the whole stand-in situation for Falcons. And, on map 1, it kind of felt that way. If only Ultimate wasn't, throwing basically that entire time, they probably would have won that map and maybe been a little bit closer. But Falcons, proving that even with a stand-in, they're a top team. Maybe they don't need one more superstar. Maybe they just need to be a better unit. And then we have Heroic versus Furia. So I said about this game that the only ways that Furia were going to win is if they weren't struggling anymore, or if Molodoy dragged them over the line, kicking and screaming. And well, that's exactly what he did. He did drag Furia, kicking and screaming, over the line against Heroic. It wasn't as bad as their game against Foot online. Like Molodoy wasn't the only player to go positive, but they still weren't that same Furia that we knew and loved from last year. The next game was Gamer Legion versus Vitality. I said that this game was going to be an absolute win for Vitality, but it was super close. I was very much wrong. It was actually a super close game. The upcoming events for Gamer Legion looking very, very interesting. Give them more time, they could probably beat a team like Vitality once or twice, you know what I mean? Like they could probably be like in that upper echelon this year as well. But we all know Vitality, we all know that they are never like, you really have to put them away to beat them. And if this Gamer Legion played against really like any of these other three teams, they probably would have won. But since they were playing against Vitality, they didn't, and I got that prediction right. And what did I tell you guys? What did I tell you? I told you that this game was going to be absolutely fire, and I had a gut feeling that Vision was going to upset Spirit, and that is exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened. What did I tell you? I told you that Donk was going to donk all over them, and that was probably not going to be enough, and it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. It was enough on Overpass. It was enough on Overpass, but on the rest of the maps, Vision just too strong of a unit, too cohesive. And I'm telling you guys, Vision, they're gonna be really dangerous this year. I'm telling you. So with the 28 games that have been played so far, I still have only gotten 9 wrong. I got every game of the quarterfinals correct. So I'm on to have a flawless streak heading in to finish off the playoffs. That would be really cool. Speaking of which, let's get into the semifinals. Okay. So the first semifinal we have Vitality versus Falcons. This should be a pretty interesting match, and I do think that the fact that they're going to be playing with a stand-in is going to be the thing that kills Falcons. If they had their full lineup, this game could be a total 50-50. I really couldn't tell you who was going to win. Vitality, they struggled against Gamer Legion. Gamer Legion did play incredibly well, but it's still Vitality, and Falcons didn't really struggle all too much against Liquid. So I think that just the fact that they have a stand-in, unless Nucleons, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, has like a life game or something, I think that Vitality is going to be able to make it to the grand final of the Blast Bounty. And for Vision versus Furia, I don't think it's super crazy to say that Vision's going to win this game. Vision, they have been looking like every game they play, they just look more and more and more impressive. They just look even better and better and better, and Furia have just been struggling all event long. They haven't looked like that same Furia that we know and love really all event, you know what I mean? Molodoy is Molodoy, but if Donk wasn't enough to stop this team, Molodoy is definitely not going to be enough to stop this team. Especially if the rest of Furia is is going to continue to play like they have been the rest of the event. It's just not going to be enough. Paravision is going to make the grand final and play against Vitality in that grand final. Anyway, a short video for you today. You know, I'll be back tomorrow for the grand final prediction. I'll see you then. Goodbye.